This is AI.R. Artists in Residence Broadcasting, coming to you once a week from New York City. Hello, I'm John Cullum, and this is my wife Emily, and we're going to talk to you about...
What? I'll tell you what.
Okay.
Just off the top of your head, I'm going to give you a word to say.
All right.
And tell me, based on that word, what's the first thing that comes to your mind?
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Summer.
Hot.
Okay. The first thing that you think of when you think of summer, what would you want to do?
Well, go down the road. We used to go down the road. Remember that?
Oh, we had a Blue Beetle.
Yeah, a blue Plymouth I paid $90 for.
And we parked it in Queens, and we'd take a subway to Queens.
One stop to cross the bridge.
Did you ever get tickets?
We, not on the Blue Beetle, but we had the
Green Hornet.
The Green Hornet.
No, not just talk about the Blue Beetle.
Blue Beetle, we'd park right off the first stop across the bridge, and we parked it about 2 blocks away.
Okay, so
it stayed there for years.
Okay, so we jump in the Blue Beetle
And take off down the
Tell
road.
me a story about an excursion in the Blue Beetle. What's the most fun excursion we had in the Blue Beetle?
Well, one of the most unusual was that, and it goes along with summer, was we were driving down the road in our usual fashion, and there was this big...
Our usual fashion is we have no place, no plan. We just let the road
took off down the road.
Take us.
And there was this big apple tree. There was a bunch of
green apples.
One of the limbs extended out over the road, and I stopped, and I climbed up on top of the car, and I was getting a big apple.
Oh, I remember. Oh, how
you remember what happened?
Yes, the policeman saw.
That's right. The 2 cops pulled up in a car, and I turned around to hand Emily the apple, and there was these 2 cops looking at me, standing on top of the car.
How'd you get out of it?
I just said, well, these apples were very tempting, and they're hanging over the public road, and so I just figured we had a right to have one, and is that against the law? And they just laughed and took off down the road.
I want a green apple right now.
Yeah, me too.
That was an interesting excursion, stealing green apples.
Yes.
Did you ever do anything else like that?
Oh, well.
Did you ever steal anything?
Well,
Did you ever borrow something that you shouldn't have borrowed?
There's a word called...
Don't think too hard for the word. Just answer the question.
I don't think I would steal anything if you could call it stealing, because if it was stealing, it was against my nature to steal, because I'd go to hell. As a kid, that's what
If you haven't noticed, people who have been watching our videos, John came from a very strong religious, right and wrong upbringing.
That's right.
And many of the decisions he makes about dealing with things, being nice to people, trying to do good for people, not lying, not getting angry, not stealing. You've just got good habits.
Well, no, I don't always abide by them, but if they fit one of the 10 Commandments and you're going against it, it has a tendency to slow me down, at least.
Would you steal a flower for me?
Yeah, sure I would.
How would you steal it?
With a pair of scissors, I'd just snip it off and take it. Well, if it was well, first of all, I wouldn't want to get caught cutting somebody's flowers, but and I wouldn't want to cut a flower if it ruined a bed of flowers and made it.
Ladies
look
and gentlemen, here's a bouquet of compliments for John. I'm plucking flowers.
Right.
Honest, courageous, tender, never steals,
Emily.
doesn't lie. Here you go. Thank you very much, John Cullum, for letting us know that when you say the word summer, you think of getting into the Blue Beetle and going and stealing some green apples.
That's right.
So we'll see you next week.
This is AI.R. See you next week.